everybody, it is me, Jurassic Alt, here to say that today we're going to be talking about Tales from the Pizza Plex, Book 5, Story 2, The Storyteller. I'm very excited to talk about this story and book, so let's get started. The story starts off with Mr. Burroughs trying to fire the entire creative team because the company needs to save money, and the board thinks it should be replaced by a machine called the Storyteller. Edwin, an older Fazbear Entertainment employee who's been with the company for a while, thinks that they shouldn't, because if you take the stories out of Fazbear Entertainment, there is nothing left. But the board decides that it's a good idea, and so they start construction on the Storyteller. They decide that the Storyteller should look like a baobab tree. Edwin has a bad feeling about the Storyteller, but they finish construction on the tree anyways. The Storyteller is placed in the middle of the Mega Pizzaplex, connected to everything. Edwin wants to see what's inside the Storyteller, but is declined by Mr. Burroughs. So Edwin sneaks into the Mega Pizzaplex at night and sees that a group of tech guys bringing in a giant white tiger head into the tree. Edwin has a panic attack when he sees the tiger head, bringing back old memories he doesn't want to remember. Edwin asks what kind of program the Storyteller is using, but Mr. Burroughs won't tell him what kind of programming the Storyteller is being run on. Edwin noticed that the animatronics are starting to act weird and systems are causing problems throughout the Mega Pizzaplex. So Edwin goes into the Fazbear archives to learn more information about the Storyteller. Edwin learns he can get into the Storyteller by climbing the catwalks near the roller coaster. So Edwin goes into the tree from the top and sees the giant white tiger head connected to everything using Mimic 1 programming. Then it cuts to Edwin is back at his home and having a memory of the past. Mr. Burroughs tries to catch Edwin sneaking into the Storyteller, but doesn't. So he looks around the Mega Pizzaplex to find out what kind of bugs are happening. When Mr. Burrow goes to Rockstar Lane, he can see a Glamrock Freddy fighting a little kid over a stuffed Freddy. Freddy is acting like a little brat. Then Mr. Burrow figures out how Edwin has been getting into the Storyteller, so he sets up a trap for him. Edwin tries to break in again. The tree is sealed shut so that no air can get in or out. Mr. Burrow thinks it would be a good idea because they would be saving money and it would be one less person to pay. Edwin goes into the tree and Mr. Burrow traps him. Mr. Burrow finds it strange that Edwin didn't try to struggle to get out of the tree, but Mr. Burrow thinks he might have escaped. So Mr. Burrow checks out the tree himself. Mr. Burrow goes into the tree to see Edwin's dead body and tries to get out but cannot because the door is closed, so he uses his hand code, but that doesn't work. Then he bangs on the tree, but no one can hear him over the loud screams and shouts at the Mega Pizzaplex. So let's talk about some side notes. Side notes I want to mention is that Edwin had a company before he worked with Fazbear Entertainment, and seems like his company failed and Fazbear Entertainment kind of bought out his company, hence Edwin working with Freddy's. He also does seem like he has a tragic past with Freddy's, because it mentions throughout the story that he has flashbacks of something that happened in his past at Freddy's, something bad that happens a lot. So we got a sneak peek, I guess, to Tiger Rock, which is going to be the next two stories. In two stories, we get Tiger Rock, and I feel like Tiger Rock and this whole entire story is supposed to represent Glitch Trap getting into the Mega Pizzaplex system, which kind of seems odd because we got leaked emails 2-3 years ago of a virus getting into the Mega Pizza. This doesn't seem the same as that, so it could mean that Glitch Trap has snuck into the Mega Pizzaplex multiple times. So yeah, I also want to mention that Tiger Rock kind of reminds me of Bonnie. So I think because we haven't really seen Bonnie at all in this story, so maybe Tiger Rock is supposed to represent Rock Bonnie in this, maybe? Question mark. I don't know. It just seems odd that seems like a Glitch Trap story, and the only animatronic that we really see that's kind of Glitch Trappy kind of stuff is Tiger Rock. So maybe this is supposed to represent Tiger Rock's supposed to represent Glamrock Bonnie, and maybe we'll get an explanation on that. When Edwin has his flashback when he sees the tiger head, it specifically mentions he heard a screeching sound, screeching, screaming, and I thought that was very interesting because the only times that we've heard screeching sounds is in the epilogues for the Mega Pizzaplex. So maybe Edwin saw the creature, the mimic that we saw at the end of the story. Maybe? I don't know, but it could also mean that Edwin was part of the FNAF 6 thing, of being at the end of FNAF 6. I don't know. It just seemed very interesting. Speaking about mimics, seems like mimics are a new thing that are going to be coming to the Mega Pizzaplex series. We have a story called Mimic 1, which I'm very excited for because I honestly, like a lot of people, thought the epilogues were about bird trap. And kind of as more stories come along, I'm feeling less and less like this is bird trap. So I'm going to have to reread them all. Now I have a couple books and kind of maybe do like a deep dive of re-looking at them. But I want to mention that in Frailty, we see this kind of, or it mentions this monster kind of thing. So that could mean that's Mimic 2. I doubt it, but it could be something important there. So they mentioned that Tiger Rock's system or software was made for arcades, VR, and AR. I find it interesting that it mentions AR and VR. VR is Glitch Trap. AR is kind of somewhat with Glitch Trap. I don't really know if it's canon. I think it's secondary canon of like some parts are canon and some parts are not. So it's interesting that it mentions Tiger Rock in the story. It mentions that Tiger Rock has arcade VR and AR kind of software built into it. So we might get like a Glitch Trap story for Tiger Rock, possibly. They mentioned Mr. Cupcake going rabbit, which is funny to me because like I think that's hilarious. And we don't really see Mr. Cupcake in Security Breach. The only place where we see Mr. Cupcake is behind Monty's Golf in this kind of little bakery. So maybe Mr. Cupcake, air quotes, went rabbit, and it's like, hey, we need to put you off to the side. You're a little too crazy. So maybe that's what happened with Glamrock Bonnie, is that Glamrock Bonnie kind of went rabid. But maybe Glamrock Bonnie went rabbit and just went absolutely bonkers. But I don't know. I mean, we do get this duffel bag where it says that Bonnie is seen going to Montgomery's golf course, and that's kind of the last time we hear of them. Also, do you hear that Bonnie did eat a cat, or one of the animatronics eating a cat in the leaked emails, but I don't know if that still counts as canon, so I have no idea. But maybe Bonnie went rabid, and that's kind of why he got put off to the side. Maybe that's what Tiger Rock is. Tiger Rock went rabid is kind of, air quotes, set off to the side, put into the programming. They mentioned that Chica is yellow, which I find very interesting. So in the game, Chica's white, but originally Chica was yellow. Now, that's very interesting. I don't know why they would change the color. It could be that in the duffel bags, they do mention that Chica was trash compacted before, and maybe that's the cause of the color change of like, oh, she got trash compacted and we don't have any more yellow paint. Hey, we got plenty of white paint. Let's just slap a coat of white paint. So maybe that could be something of the reason why Chica's got a color change is because of the trash compactor. They mentioned archives and that they were in boxes, which seems very interesting. I feel like Fazbear Entertainment is like a very futuristic tech kind of people. I find it interesting that they use boxes and like have it in file. And holy cow, you know how badly I would love to just get my hands on those files of like reading all of that lore. I hope there's a future story where we get to see more in depth in the Freddy's archives and like we learn a lot, and I hope we do. They mentioned catwalks to get into the StoryTeller, which I find very interesting because there's only been 2 other times we have catwalks in the game, and that is when do the boss battle for Monty and he's on the catwalks, and they mention that Monty's up on the catwalks again and all of that, and Vanny. So I guess if there's catwalks, that's a Glitch Trap connection? I don't know. I mean, that doesn't really make any sense because Afton and all of his work I feel like was primarily underground, like how he was in FNAF sister location. So I don't know. I guess catwalks are a connection to Glitch Trap / Afton. They mentioned Mimic 1 program, so that could mean one of 2 things. That's kind of supposed to represent Afton's robotics programming, or it could mean Henry's kind of programming. Right now, kind of leaning with the Henry kind of programming because in the main theory, I want to talk about something. They mentioned that there was an item from Edwin's past that he kept, but they don't mention what exactly it is. They just mention that there's something in Edwin's past that he still has, which is like, well, I want to know what that thing is. Edwin was so it sounds like Edwin started working for Fazbear Entertainment since he was 24 and was a good inventor and just good with tech, which is very interesting. So let's talk about the main theory of the video. I want to talk about Edwin. I think he's supposed to represent Henry, Now, hear me out on this. Think about it. Henry was good with technology and kind of seemed like the more tech kind of guy of Freddy's. Edwin seems like Edwin started out with a tech company of himself and joined Fazbear Entertainment. Henry and William Afton kind of joined together to make Fredbear's Family Diner. So that's one thing. Edwin had a son. Now, I didn't mention this really in the summary, but in the summary, it mentions that Edwin had a son who sounds like died by the hands of a machine, probably Tiger Rock. Now, who's lost their kid at Freddy's? Henry did, and Henry had a daughter named Charlie, or Charlotte. Charlie was killed by Afton. Now, maybe it's that the Tiger Rock programming went rogue and killed Edwin's son? That's another thing that would be a connection. When Mr. Burroughs went down into the Storyteller tree, he saw construction crane all around in the tree that was saying, "I'm sorry." Now, if what my theory is correct so far of if Edwin's supposed to represent Henry, that would make it that Edwin's kid is supposed to represent Puppet, and our ongoing theory is that Puppet is the one who's in this sticky note room with Gregory at some point. It's not very clear who's writing the duffel bags. I think it's Puppet who's writing the duffel bags and taking notes of seeing everything in the Mega Pizzaplex that's been happening. That would be a connection there of the sticky notes are confirming that Puppet is the one who's doing them. And I think this confirms that. And it makes more sense that Puppet does them, because when you get the duffel bag, it shows this, a sticky note. And the only place we've really seen sticky notes is in this room. Alright, so this is a mini side note theory. I think that this story might explain or start to hint at what are the origins of Monty and Roxanne Wolf. Now, Edwin, it's not confirmed, but it seems like Edwin created Tiger Rock. And if he made a Tiger Rock, he probably made some other animatronics too. Now, Monty and Roxy are kind of oddball characters. We haven't really seen them before. We've never had an alligator. Well, we haven't had an alligator animatronic. The only other time we've had an alligator is with Old Man Consequences. And I feel like he's supposed to represent Henry of Let the Demons, and the other one, and Roxy, a wolf animatronic. We haven't really seen, the only time we've seen a wolf animatronic is in the books, the Silver Eye books, and I don't know what the wolf is called. I just know he's from the books. I haven't read the books, and I might do a video. But if that's the case, maybe Henry or Edwin made Monty, Roxy, and Tiger Rock, maybe some other animals. There is a pizzeria called Penguin's Pizzeria. Maybe there's a penguin, a polar bear, an alligator, a wolf, and a tiger, possibly. But I don't think it's a connection to Penguin Pizzeria. I don't really feel confident in that. I do feel very confident that Edwin could have possibly made Roxy and Monty and Tiger Rock, maybe some other animatronics. And Henry, I've seen a theory that's saying Henry made the mediocre melody. So that would be another thing of this is the Monty and Roxy are the mediocre melodies. I also do want to mention that when in the Mr. Hippo ending, when Freddy goes with Gregory, we see Mr. Hippo replace Glamrock Freddy. Now, maybe Monty and Roxy were supposed to be like replacements for Glamrock Bonnie and Glamrock Foxy. I mean, in my previous theory, I did say that Foxy kind of had his own thing for the longest time. Maybe Roxy was the one who got, air quotes, the main stage first, and then Monty came in. So maybe it's actually Roxanne came in before and Monty came in after that. I don't know completely about that yet, but yeah. So my prediction for Tiger Rock is that we're gonna learn that Monty and Roxanne were actually animatronics that Edwin made. But that's just a personal theory of what I think is gonna come up in the future. But I'm kind of noticing something with the timeline. It seems like there's an old Mega Pizzaplex kind of look and a new Mega Pizzaplex kind of look, where the new one is kind of more accurate to the games and the older one is more accurate to the books. I believe that the Mega Pizzaplex went through a reconstruction of the whole pizzeria. Now, I kind of feel like this story is the reason why it went through a new kind of reboot Mega Pizzaplex, because we don't really see any trees in the Mega Pizzaplex, but we do see this tree here. So that could mean that this is part of the Storyteller tree that we got in this story. So that could mean that the tree was actually in the Mega Pizzaplex. Yes, this isn't a baobab tree, but this could be representing the tree that we see in this story. I actually finally recorded audio for the timeline, so it's not going to be like 10 seconds. I am going to have to do a reboot on the timeline. I'm going to reboot the timeline and add a kind of old Mega Pizzaplex era and new Mega Pizzaplex era, where the books seem like the older books, 1 through 4, seem more set in the old kind of Mega Pizzaplex kind of look of roller coaster and all of that kind of stuff. There's no Fazcade, and like stuff seems more off and different. So I'm going to say that this is going to be an old Mega Pizzaplex time, a new Mega Pizzaplex time. I think that this story is in the middle of that. I am for now just going to put it in between Monty and Roxy, just for like easier editing for me. But in the next timeline video, I will be establishing a old Mega Pizzaplex and a new Mega Pizzaplex remastered. But yeah, that's that. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. It means so much to me you took the time out of your day to watch this video. I am so sorry this video is probably a day late, and if it's not, thank goodness. I'm so sorry. Feel like I've been delaying this video so many times. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm very excited for next week's video. I'm sorry if these videos are kind of just been delayed a lot. I've been really busy with just personal stuff and all of that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, cheeseburgers, waffles, and grilled cheese, broccoli, I don't know. Wow.